Hi, and
Hey,
welcome to Childfree Rallies. This is July edition, July 2021. And today we have LeNora Faye with us. Hi, Elle. I call her
hello.
Elle. Nobody else can call her
I
Elle.
was gonna
Me
say,
and
who are you
Kristen.
talking about?
uh, if you don't know this yet, because you might, LeNora is one of the co-hosts of Childfree Girls, along with myself and Kristen. And so we've known each other for over 2 years now.
2 years, yeah. Actually, I think this is like our second year and like our anniversary week or month.
No, it's August 1st. Remember, it was the same
Yeah,
day.
but I mean the when you and I met specifically, I think
Oh,
it was like it might have been even June. I don't remember, but it's we yeah, okay, so it's over 2 months, two
yeah,
years.
over two
I'm
years.
getting really down to the minute.
And August 1st, which is International Childfree Day, is actually the anniversary of Childfree Girls. So it was
Yes.
your second year anniversary this
Yes.
year, which is quite a feat. And we're actually going to talk about something that is related in a way to what we've been doing with Childfree Girls. So today's topic is express your Childfree self. So how do you focus the conversation on finding your voice and stepping out in public and talking about your choice, whether it's with your family or your colleagues or your friends, or just putting content out there, starting a podcast. Like there's so many ways, right? And
Yes.
LeNora is like the perfect person to talk about this. You are. So
Thank you.
I would really like you to tell me and whoever's watching this video, either on replay or right now, about how did you find your Childfree voice?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me. So how did I find my child-free voice? It started off with an incident at my grandmother's funeral. I was 33 or 34, or maybe 32. I don't know, early 30s. And I had a wife of a cousin come up to me who was, she was watching me play with my nephew who was 4 years old at the time. We're just goofing off. And she came up to me and she's like, "Oh, your time will come." And I'm like, "Okay, time for what?" And she's like, "To have children." And I, for a second, was thinking, when have you ever heard me say that I was going to have children? And so I told her, I said, "Well, if I wanted children, I would have had them already." I said, "I'm in my 30s. Like that was something you do in your 20s." And then she said, "Well, I had my first child at 38." And I said, "That's true, you did." And then that was it. And seemingly innocent, whatever, but it bothered me for a good 2 years. Like I could not let that incident go in my head. And why it bothered me is because I was disappointed I didn't stand up for myself. And it wasn't a bad exchange or anything, but I felt icky because I didn't stand up for myself. And I knew that I didn't want to have children and that I wasn't going to have children. And so, you hang on to things in your head, and then finally one day it just kind of explodes out of you. And I just again, 3 years ago this month, I was sitting on the couch at home in between road trips. And I was like, I need to talk about this because what was happening is I was about to go to another funeral and I knew I was going to see her. So it was just bubbling inside of me. And I was like, I need to talk about this. How do I talk about this? Who do I talk to about this? About not wanting to have kids, because I wanted to stand up for myself. And then, so I was like, Google how to start a blog. What is a blog? And then I started a blog that night. And so, and I just started writing about, the fact that I was going to start talking about not wanting to have kids, and had zero audience. So I just started writing. I sent it to a couple people. And really my intent was to go back to the funeral, to another funeral, to see that lady. And I knew she would ask me, "So what are you doing?" Blah, 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 the whole kid thing. And I was going to like say, here's my blog, go read it. So that is actually how I found my child-free voice. That incident made me realize that prior to that, it never occurred to me to talk about it. Not publicly, because my friends knew, my close family knew. Nobody said anything, but it was eating me, like, or kind of like knocking inside of me. Like I was unsatisfied with the fact that I was silent for myself. And then it was just a moment in time where I didn't have to work. I was just traveling and just sitting at home. All of a sudden, just inspiration hit. and I spent the weekend figuring out how to blog. And that's how I found my voice. Started the process of finding my voice. And so it was through writing. So that was the first incident out of many.
It's funny when you said you were at a funeral and somebody said your time will come. That's such a weird thing to say to somebody else.
Like, I know I'm gonna die. I just don't, I know it's coming. I never really thought about it from that angle, but it's
such
true.
a weird thing to say to somebody.
I know. I mean, the funeral was done. We were at the tea hall. I was playing with my nephew, so it wasn't like she came up to me in the pew going, Can you imagine?
Wow. Yeah.
But I know it is weird. So like, I guess the point is just be prepared for anything when you're at funerals or family events. People. That's hilarious.
Yeah. Well, but it was interesting, this being like the spark, basically, because I'm sure you got bingoed many times before that.
Totally. And never did I think about, I guess too, I mean, considering the time in my 20s, internet wasn't